Legion Lost number 10, written by Tom DeFalco, art by Pete Woods. This is coming off of the end of The Culling, where Legion Lost found a spare time bubble, hopped in, and made their way back to the future. Here we see them going through time, and Gates is pointing out how they have the time bubbles working, but the controls are acting really weird. And whereas they're trying to land in their own time, like as soon as they left, Gates is like, oh, I accidentally overshot it, but don't worry, it's only like a year or two. And they step out of the time bubble, and literally the entire world has completely fallen into just disarray. Like, nobody's there. They're at the Legion headquarters, and it is nothing but like overgrown ruins at this point. And they're all just like, dude, what happened? And basically the whole thing is them just, Tyrock is there, and he's immediately just shell-shocked. He's just like, what? Huh? And everyone else is like, all right, well, Wildfire and Dawnstar are going to make their way up into space, seeing if they can figure out, like, from above what happened. Gates is going to just teleport around, seeing if it's all around the world. And they do so, and they can't figure out what's happened, and Gates does see it's all around the world. There's literally no trace of anyone. And Tyrock is... Tellus is seeing his thoughts, but Tyrock is thinking to himself of, like, it's the prophecy. I thought I could escape it, but I couldn't. And Tellus is like, what prophecy? And he's like, it's complicated, but I don't want to tell everybody and, like, you know, make things more divisive than they already are. And Tellus is like, okay, probably not the best idea, whatever. So then we see Timberwolf, who's like, hey, great and glorious leader, come on, focus. To which Tyrock then, like, blasts him with the sound blast, which gets him going at the very least. Also, this entire issue, Chameleon Girl, is just like, yeah, how about we go back to where we came from? That seems like the best option. Let's do that now. Let's go back to exactly where Harvest was. And everyone's just like, Chameleon, could you, like, chill it with the traitorous vibes? Just, like, a little bit, please. Thank you. So we also get a cutaway here to, in an Argus facility, a Major Nicholson, a woman who I think we met in a previous issue, is being briefed on, here's the deal. There's been a big psychic blast in New York. It knocked out 3 city blocks and made them all unconscious. A lot of people died. We think it has something to do with those superpowered teenagers that you met with at an earlier point, and we would like you to be running a team in order to either capture them or kill them. They say canceled, but that means a different thing now. So she's like, all right, well, sure, I'll look into it. And they show them interrogating Timberwolf's, like, friend Oz, and showing, like, look, he's been in contact with them, he may know where they are, go ahead and talk to him. And he's all snarky, he's whatever, but he still covers for Timberwolf, and it's like, yeah, no, I haven't seen him. He ran off to New Jersey, and after whenever that thing happened, I haven't seen him since. So then we see that the Major is introduced to a new division, basically to battle metahumans, because, like, Justice League exists, and they trust they're in the best interest for the world, but they need a team that's in the best interest of the United States. So they have this team of, like, commando metas, who one of them is his name is just Meta-American. Meta-American. All one word. And then there are 3 others. Wide Load, who's a team medic and spotter. Trip, who does transport and demo. And Gunner, who's a sniper. Who they also point out as a girl. And for some reason, that's a big deal. So, yeah, just know that's there. Anyway, the rest of the story continues. And they're basically just investigating the entirety of the Legion fortress. Wildfire's trying to find a new suit because his was cracked, but when he goes, he finds all of his suits have been destroyed in some way, and so his energy is just slowly dispersing, and he's losing himself. And finally, Tyrock has to make a call once the rest of the team's back together. They also have their old outfits now. They went into the Legion storage locker, I guess, and found it. And Tyrock has to make a call, and he's like, all right, we're going to just use the time bubble to go slowly back in time, 1 decade at a time, until we can meet up with the Legion and figure out what in the heck's happening. And so they go and try to get Dawnstar and Timberwolf, and they find that Timberwolf was looking at basically the Hall of Deceased Legionnaires, to which there were statues of the entire Legion Lost made, which is fair. That was in the main Legion book as well. And it's like our team gave up on trying to find us. So, little heartfelt moment there. Anyway, they hop in the time bubble. Controls are going wonky again. And they end up pretty much exactly where they left, right back at where Harvest Base was, inside of a huge crater where it all exploded. And they're just like, son of a bitch. All right, fine. Wildfire and Dawnstar, you guys can handle the freezing cold. Go do some spotting, see if you can like find anything around here. Meanwhile, Gates is going to teleport us back to New York, and we'll get out of the freezing cold here. So they teleport back to New York. They realize they need a place to stay because their place that they were staying was destroyed by Harvest. And so Timberwolf goes and meets up with his friend Oz again, and he takes Chameleon Girl with because Chameleon Girl's being really traitorous recently. So then we see that this group of meta-Americans is just keeping an eye on Oz, thinking that Timberwolf will eventually meet up, which is correct. They're pulled down an alley, and Timberwolf's like, hey, did you tell anybody anything? And he's like, yeah, no, there's this weird military girl who was asking questions about you. And he's like, military girl? What's going on? And Timberwolf hears the click of the sniper's like safety going off. He starts trying to move everyone out of the way. Sniper takes a shot, and looks like 3 shots to the chest, straight on Timberwolf. End of issue. It's fine. It's, in terms of spinning out of the culling, I think that it's decent enough, but I really hate that Chameleon Girl's trying to get us back there so desperately. It sounds like she has an interesting enough story going on, but like, stop going back to the culling, I beg of you. Beyond that, it's okay. It just feels like the thing where they were like, okay, we set up this thing, but we're not going to let them get back to the future. Like, it's just going to be something that, and like when they were in the future, they were just hypothesizing like, maybe Harvest was like supposed to win. Maybe like we messed something up in the past and that led to this. Like, what do we do now? So it's just setting up a bunch of future plots of how they're going to handle the knowledge of there may not be a future to go back to, period, even if they found a way to. So interesting forward setup, but for the issue itself, it's just setup. Like, it's just, it's its own middling thing. Whatever they choose to do with this prophecy, whatever they choose to do with Chameleon Girl, I'm sure Timberwolf's going to live because they seem to treat him like the Wolverine of this group. So overall, I go ahead and give this one I give it like a 6.5. It's fine. It's even good in some places, but for the most part, it's just a unoffending issue.